training that we should be doing for the support staff that's sometimes difficult to pull those people away too. And when we don't have students in the building, it would be a tremendous time to be able to develop that as well. That's not on the plan here, but I'm sure we can develop that as we go, and I would strongly suggest that they be involved every single time and not just sitting at their desk or sitting in their room or starting to clean early or anything like that. Anyhow, that's part of that. I mentioned too that the child care thing is, yes, it's definitely a concern, but I think we can handle that by simply going to each school and coming up with volunteers or something through the PTA, PTO, whatever it might be, to homeschool, not PTO, but anyhow, coming up with some kind of a mechanism where we could provide for those families that can't do it and that can't afford it, or whatever it might be, no questions asked, that free hour or whatever it takes after school ends early to watch the children. And if we do that, that takes away the whole thing about, well, I can't get off work early, I can't make any difference, or whatever it might be. And so I just think that that has to be and should be a part of this whole plan. So those are my comments. I'm really for it.
There was one other thing I wanted to add too. The suggestion by President Rump to form these, I guess, basically after-school babysitting thing. I mean, I don't know about what our insurance says about that, but I certainly want to take on the liability on the backs of the taxpayer to implement basically what amounts to babysitting clubs and making us responsible, or what I feel where we would be responsible for volunteers taking care of people's children. That does not sound like a smart thing to do.
Just in response to that, this is done in a lot of school districts around our whole 12-county northeastern Ohio area. And
Do you know of any?
yes, I know a lot of them.
Who?
Yeah. Who? Well, I don't want to get into
I mean, I'd just like to research.
I don't want to get into that. We can talk about that another time. But I'm telling you that it's done as a method of getting this done. And so I just think it's a way to do it. Yes, is there a liability factor if it's not well organized, if it's not, it's like anything else, if it's not organized enough to where you still know what's going on, and then it could be a problem. But it is a way to do it. I'm not talking about older kids in that school being the babysitter for that kid. I'm talking about mothers that would volunteer their time through PTA, that sort of thing.
Right.
High school students that might be able to help with that and have hours that would be given to them, through the volunteer hours and all that, the thing that they have to do. I think it's a very, very good idea myself.
And then going with what President Rump said, I come from DeWitt, and we are a strong PTA, and we struggle to get volunteers. And the fact of trying to get volunteers to babysit other people's children for an hour on Wednesday, I just don't see that flying. I honestly don't, sir. It's, like I said, we have a strong PTA, and we are fighting left and right to get volunteers. It's a core group of people that are there in and out, and we have children that we have to take care of. We have soccer practices to get to, and if we've got that hour, it changes our schedules completely. As a stay-at-home mom, it changes my schedule completely. So while it would be nice to say the PTA would help out with that, I just don't think it's a reality, honestly.
I do have a question on that.
Yeah.
Do you use volunteers during the day in the school?
Our school, like I said, DeWitt is very strong in the PTA. We do all of library, we do all of our tutoring. We are teachers' aides. Our parents are incredible in that school. But to add one more hour a week is a lot to ask for parents. Because we take time out of our kids. I have a stay-at-home, I have a little girl. I take time out to do library, so my kids have a librarian. Because if I'm not there, they don't have library that week. And there are times when there is just one parent in that library taking care of that classroom of 30 kids. And to ask and add on another hour is I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is when you're taking away time already from your other children. So, I just wanted to, thank you.
Thank